After midnight, with the help of the police department, Finn managed to gather all the people at the town center. A few hours earlier, the pumpkin man had disappeared into a mysterious fog after killing Miss Dashford. Now, it was time to finish this once and for all. With most of the town's people having witnessed the horrifying events of the previous night, they were now open-minded to believe in the supernatural threat to their town. Even the farmers agreed to destroy all the pumpkins, realizing that if they didn't, their lives and the lives of their loved ones would be in danger. The police and the townspeople divided into small groups, spreading throughout the town to burn and destroy all the pumpkins. According to Miss Dashford's notes and story, there shouldn't be a single pumpkin left in the town, or else this creature could re-emerge again. Even with Finn's wounded arm, he refused to sit idly by and actively contributed to ensuring the town's safety. As the first rays of sunlight bathed the town, people were already diligently finishing and burning pumpkins. Since it was Halloween, pumpkin farms were scattered throughout the area. Hours passed and night fell once again. Despite the efforts of the groups of men, there were still some pumpkins left on the farms around the town. Unlike previous Halloweens, this one felt exceptionally eerie, with the roads and town appearing deserted. Women and children remained indoors, locked behind closed doors, while the men continued to burn all the pumpkins, even in the woods. Finn, Robert and Edward, one of Finn's neighbors, ventured to the other side of the woods in search of another small abandoned pumpkin farm that had been neglected for some time. The yard and the pumpkins within it, along with the surrounding woods, had no owner to tend to them. The farm was shrouded in eerie fog and the moon was hidden behind dark clouds. Finn heard the creepy cries of an owl from a nearby tree. The wind blowing through the woods created a ghostly, unsettling sound. Edward opened the back of the truck and grabbed the gasoline. They needed a controlled fire to burn the yard without harming the surrounding woods. Robert headed towards the western side of the yard while Edward began checking the eastern side, ensuring they could burn the farm without endangering the nearby trees. Due to the thick fog, only the flashlight beams they carried were visible from the distance. Meanwhile, Finn began preparing the torches. It was almost time, and everyone needed to be on high alert. Once he had the torches ready, he noticed Officer Robert approaching.
I think it's safe to burn this area. It won't harm the woods. By the way, where's Edward?
He's over there.
Finn pointed to a section of the yard, but there was no flashlight in sight.
Where is he? Edward, are you there?
They called out, but there was no reply from the thick fog. Fear gripped Finn and Officer Robert. They had a sinking feeling that the pumpkin man might be nearby. Both of them tightly gripped their torches and cautiously made their way through the side of the pumpkin yard, ready for whatever waited them.
Edward, are you there?
They called out. But in the next moment, they saw his lifeless body sprawled on the ground, surrounded by a pool of blood. The pumpkin man had already claimed another victim. Robert grabbed his phone with trembling hands to call for backup, but as usual, there was no signal at all. Both of them walked cautiously and slowly toward the truck, but suddenly, Finn's wound began to hurt intensely as if it were burning from the inside. In the very next second, a dark figure lunged at him from the eerie thick fog, knocking him to the ground. Unlike the pumpkin man's other victims, it didn't attempt to kill Finn instantly. It felt more like a revenge or a personal vendetta. It wanted Finn to suffer excruciatingly. Meanwhile, Robert lunged at the monster, attempting to grab it and throw it away from the fin. But the monster proved to be too strong. A single blow from the pumpkin man sent Robert flying, and he collided with the truck, leaving him unconscious. The pumpkin man stared at Finn, its eyes glowing in eerie red, its mouth slowly opening.
You killed me.
The pumpkin man began whispering in a bone-chilling tone.
You killed me. You killed me. You killed me.
Finn wasn't sure what the pumpkin man meant, but he knew what needed to be done. He still held the torch in his hand, so without hesitation, he thrust the burning torch inside the pumpkin man's massive mouth, engulfing it in flames. The pumpkin man began to scream as it burned, and the entire pumpkin yard caught fire. Amidst the blazing flames, it started murmuring,
I will come for you.
The pumpkin man's ominous word echoed through the burning yard as it was consumed by the blazing flames, as if cleansing the sins of the entire town. 3 days passed, and no one had seen or encountered the pumpkin man again. The townspeople had successfully destroyed all the pumpkins in the town, ensuring there was no way for the pumpkin man to re-emerge. Finn stumbled upon an old photograph in Miss Dashford's locker. It depicted 2 hunters who had claimed to venture into the woods to hunt down the pumpkin man in the early 90s. Strangely, one of them bore an uncanny resemblance to Finn, and it appeared that one of the hunters was an ancestor of his, making them blood-related. Maybe that's why the monster whispered, claiming, "You kill me," believing it was Finn who had ended its life a century ago. From the very first day it reappeared, it trailed Finn every night, driven by a thirst for revenge. Days later, on a peaceful night, as he laid on his bed, Finn began to contemplate. He touched the deep scar on his hand, the result of the pumpkin man's claws, ensuring he would remember it for the rest of his life. Suddenly, a strange thought crossed his mind.
Did we truly destroy all the pumpkin plants?
Hello, Finn. I believe you're the one who called me about the killer in this town.
Of course, Mr. Storm. Please come in.
Say a prayer, ain't nobody praying for you. If I wanted, then it's mine, that's what I'm saying.